All right, everyone. Welcome to Structuring Billing in Jackrabbit. My name is Graham Bingham. I am your host today. I'm the education team lead with Jackrabbit, and we're going to spend the next 45 minutes or so talking about the various ways in which you can post fees and collect payments in Jackrabbit. Just going to take a look at our agenda. So this is kind of a two-part thing. The first part is, of course, posting your fees. So we're going to be taking a look at how to post fees during registration and enrollment. So we'll take a look at how to do that manually on a one-on-one basis, and we'll also look at how to do that automatically through web registration and also through the parent portal. We'll also take a look at the monthly billing cycle. We'll discuss fixed fees and discounts. Of course, discounting, posting your tuition fees, and posting fees by total hours or with a fee schedule. The second part of the webinar will then go into collecting payments, and we'll take a look at the individual billing tab, how to collect post payments by cash or check on an individual basis or by credit card for an individual family, and also how to process all families in a batch. Finally, we'll take a look at some of the reports that you have available to you, and we'll wrap things up with a question and answer session. So before we get underway, I would like to run a couple of quick polls just to get a sense of how you operate in your facility. So the first poll I'd like to do is, how do you bill your families? And Jackrabbit allows you to bill families based on a monthly tuition or also by total fees, and in some cases fixed family or fixed student fees. So I'm going to launch this poll. If I can just have you give a quick response to that, that'll give me some insight, and I can sort of customize this to your specific needs depending on how the results are. All right, looks like everybody, wow, you're Johnny on the spot. Thank you very much. So we have 100% of you are posting your fees, your monthly fees, by monthly tuition rather than by total hours. So that's actually really handy because that will give us more time to focus on that kind of processing rather than splitting it up. So we've got a great team here today, all doing the same kind of thing. So let me then take a look here. And let's talk about discounting. What kind of discounts? We can offer multiple class discounting, multiple sibling, or a combination of both. Let's get a sense of that. We're going to be looking at all of this in more detail, but I just like to get a sense of how you guys are doing your thing. Give you a second to finish that off. Splendid. We also have a consensus here. Let's just go ahead and close that. So all of you are also offering both multi-class and multi-sibling discounting. So that's great. We're all aligned here today. So we'll focus on that and get things going. So let us just bring up my other screen here, and we'll take a look at Jackrabbit. And there we go. All right. I think we need to make that screen a little bit larger so that you can get a sense of this a bit better. So the goal of Jackrabbit billing is to save you time and to ensure accuracy. So we want to first talk about some key differences. There is registering new families, and then there's enrollment. We have the web registration. So a family reaches out to you, calls you up by the phone, or they find you on the web, register through online web registration. That's a brand new family that is registering for the first time into your studio. In those cases, you can have the tuition fees automatically posted for that class. You can also apply a registration fee. Registration fees are often considered an annual fee, so you only charge them once. Now, once a family has registered into your studio, they then have an account, and they can access that account through your parent portal. The parent portal also allows parents to log in and enroll into additional classes. We consider that just enrollment. In that case, we don't charge registration fees through the customer portal because it's assumed they've already paid that. So you can do that manually. And we'll take a look at the differences as we go along. But I wanted to just sort of give you an indication, like a little bit of division there as to what we refer to as online registration and also enrollment through the parent portal. So we're going to take a look now at posting fees during registration. So this is a brand new family coming in, and let's just walk through how that might work. Somebody comes into your front desk, for example. This can be done automatically online as well. So I'm going to go in here and you can go into quick registration and add family. Now, I'm not going to walk you through all of this. We've gone through this in the Getting Started webinar, and you're probably quite familiar with that process. What I'm going to do is just go directly to an existing family. Let's go into all. There we go. I'm going to find an inactive family here. There we go, the Adams family. So what I'd like to do is I want to enroll a student here into a class and show you how you can post the fee. So we go enroll. Now we just find the class that we want to enroll Sam Adams into. Let's go into boys tumbling right here. When I click enroll, this will confirm his place in the class, and when I click the button to confirm that, I will now be presented with the opportunity to post enrollment fees. So you can do this right now. So the first one is tuition, and this will take the class tuition fee that has been entered for that class, which shows $75. So it gives you the category 1 automatically. The subtype, if you want, you can put in the month for this particular fee. This happens to be July. $75 if you wanted to discount any amount. Let's say they're coming in a little late into the class, so you can give them a discount if you wish. You may certainly do so there, but you can just carry on full charge. Any notation you want to do. Now you also have the ability to post additional fees here. Now Sam was an inactive student, so he's returning. So let's say you want to charge him a registration fee at this time also. Easy to do. Under the other fees to post, you just come down here, click registration. The category 1, as you learned in the Getting Started webinar, hopefully you've taken that one, or you're with me on this. I'll refresh your memory in just a few moments. Under the category 1, you also want to mark that for registration. Put in the amount of the registration fee. Discounting also applies here if you wish to offer a discount. And you can put in the session value. So you're tracking your revenue by session. Make sure you click the little post checkbox here. And if there was any other fees that you wanted to post, you still have another area here. Let's say merchandise. And you want to put this in as, let's see, what should we choose here? Team, and maybe it's a special t-shirt that you've got just for 10 bucks. And you can also apply that to the session value and the class associated with this, and then the notation, class t-shirt. This is all just examples. So we go ahead and click post here as well, and when we're satisfied, we now have the tuition, the registration fee, as well as we've sold a t-shirt. Go ahead and click post fees, and you see the green confirmation line on each one to show the fee has been posted. So we're happy there. If we now go ahead here, close out, and go to the Adams family, let us go over here, and let's take a look at the transaction tab. Now the transaction tab is where you're going to find all of the fees and payments tracked. So we come in here, and we take a look here. Now this balance is a little bit wonky, isn't it? $456.36. This is showing me that this family has unpaid fees. And this is a good place to pause just for a moment and take a look at the legend here that we have associated with the transaction tab. You'll notice things are in yellow. The yellow is a payment or credit. White is a fee, and those are just the standard fees. An unpaid fee will in the date column appear red, so this shows you what fees you have unpaid. Now you have also green. There could be unapplied credits. That's a credit or a payment that has been posted to the account but has not actually been linked to any fee. You need to, in Jackrabbit, link your fees with your payments so that the system knows which payment has been applied to what fee. And this works very well for itemized receipts and so on. So while we're looking at this account, you can see here that up on the this green highlighted bar, it says view unapplied credits and unpaid fees. So in this family, this is a fairly long transaction list. If I want to just zero in on what is wonky here, just go ahead and click this. Now this will filter out all of the credits and the payments. So you can see that this family actually has a lot of unpaid fees, but they have one unapplied credit of $10. I can go ahead and click the edit button here and easily apply that. Down here, reapply payment. When I do this, it brings up all the list of unpaid fees that I have in this account. Now I happen to have a merchandise here for $10. This is $10. Let's link those two. So I'm just going to click in there and it applies that. I have choices to apply those credits to the newest fee first, oldest within the last 12 months, or all the way to the oldest fee first. It's very important though that you do apply the payment to exactly what fee it was intended for, and that will show up in itemized receipts that are sent to your families. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and click Save. Oops, Save Payment. There we go. So that clears out the green. So now I just have a clean list of what fees are owing to this by this family. And chronological order, you'll see that we have the $75 tuition fee that I just posted, the $25 registration fee that I just posted, as well as merchandise of the class t-shirt for $10 that was just posted. And these all show as unpaid. This family also has previously unpaid fees, so we'll address that with them directly. So that is the basics of posting during enrollment. Now while I'm on this family, you'll also notice a get that out of the way. You have a make sale post fee button right here. You can use this to directly post a fee at any time to the account. You can, if you have items in your store, you can sell an item. You can just do a search here, find any information. Let's see, we want to do a team banner, for example. This will automatically fill in here, and you can pay that off immediately like you're doing a point of sale, or you can save the fee and allow them to pay it at a later date. You can also manually post additional fees, let's say an event deposit. You can choose also the tuition or registration fees, as we've spoken of before. Late fees can be automatically posted. So you have a lot of flexibility to just manually post any fee that you want to do. So once you've got your fee ready, you just go ahead and click Save Fee. Oops, clear that one out. I just wanted to do the team banner here. Go ahead and Save Fee. And you will find now that that fee is also listed on here, and it again shows that it is red in the date paid. So that shows you how to post fees manually on enrollment and even directly using the Make Sale or Post Fee button. Now what about automatically through web registration? Now there's a consideration here. At the present time, if you offer, and all of you have indicated that you offer multi-student and multi-class discounting, if you allow automatic posting of fees through web registration or through the parent portal, the thing to remember is that the Jackrabbit does not presently offer automatic discounting. Now we're getting very close to having automatic web reg discounting and prorating. We'll be going into beta in that in the near future, and that feature should be rolled out later in 2017. But for the time being, those fees are not discounted automatically. So because you all offer discounting, what I want to show you is under the web reg settings, under Tools, Online Web Registration, I want you to go into Settings and scroll down to your enrollment settings. Oops, go back up here. Tuition settings, here we are. Under Tuition Settings, where it says Post Tuition Fees, notice how mine says no. This is important. If somebody enrolls into a class through online registration and you have this set to yes, it will post the full tuition fee available for that class without applying any discounts. And then you have to go in and manually adjust those, and that's a real pain. Nobody wants to have to do that. So to save yourself some work, make sure that this setting is no. Then the family will register, they'll get enrolled into the class, you receive notification that they have enrolled into the class, and you can then apply the fee directly to them, applying the discounts that are necessary. This becomes automated on a monthly basis, which we'll get to in just a moment. So that's under Web Reg settings. Now, the other part is under the portal. So let's go Tools, Parent Portal, and Settings once again. And scroll on down here. down to enrollment settings. Here's your enrollment settings here. And you want to come to the post-class tuition fee and make sure that that checkbox is not checked. Note it says here, discounts do not apply. So if you were not offering any discounts whatsoever, make sure that box is checked. But because all of you on this webinar do offer discounts, uncheck that box. And keep watch. We are going to be going, as I say, into beta for the WebReg discounting and prorating a little bit later this year. And then you won't have to worry about that at all. Okay, so I just wanted to focus on that for just a moment. Now, the next thing is your monthly billing cycle, and this is where we get into various ways to post fees to everyone at once. So let me just exit out of here, and we're going to go back to home. Let me take you first to a class, and I want to just show you a couple of things on the class page. Okay, we'll pull up a class here. Now, you notice when you set up classes, you have to put in a tuition fee. Now, all of you post your tuition based on a monthly fee, so this is the fee that would be charged without any discounts per month. The tuition billing method, which is right below here, you would indicate is by class fee also. If you were to choose by total hours, you would select that. But again, we're lucky in this webinar, everyone is aligned with by class fee. So just make sure those two things are set like that. You have your tuition fee entered, and the billing method is by class fee. Now, when you come into posting tuition fees on a monthly basis, we're first going to go into the transactions and click post tuition fees right there. Oops, let's just say okay. Sorry about that. There we go. So post tuition fees. Now this next page looks a little bit scary, but it's really not. Come over here on the left-hand side and click tuition defaults. Now this section here allows you to set up your discounting, your multi-class and your multi-student discounting. So let's take a little walk through this so that you get a sense of what it's all about. Under multi-class discount, we have, you can set discounts for up to 6 classes. 7th class or higher will use the same discount level as the 6th class. We find that works for most people. We'll talk about fixed fees for those situations when this just doesn't fit. So there's always a way to get this done. So let's take a look at this. You have a choice of discounting by percentage or by a dollar amount, a fixed dollar amount. If I said this is dollar, then any amount that I put in these corresponding boxes for classes 1 through 6 would be a fixed dollar amount. If I choose percentage, this then refers to a percentage point. So in my example here, I've got discount per classes. First class receives no discount, full charge. Second class, so if a student is taking 2 classes, they receive a 10% discount on their second class. On the third class, they would receive a 15% discount, and you can see how it gradually increases to 30% discount on the 6th. That's just an example. You can set this up any way you set your discounting up. Now there's an important distinction here. This here, if percentage, does the discount apply to all classes? And it's a yes or no question, but it's not very clear, so let me give you an explanation. If I set this to yes, then my first class, 0 discount. Second class would be 10% off of the first and second classes. See how that works? If percentage, does it apply to all classes? If I have a third class, if I'm now taking 3 classes, the 15% refers to all 3 classes. So it's not a progressive discounting process, but rather it goes back to all. So the default for this is set to no. And so it's really important that you make that distinction. And if you're having any trouble with this, you can certainly contact our support department for one-on-one help getting that sort of set up. And also if you're working with a product coach, they can help you with that also. So that's an important discount distinction there. Now you can also discount the lowest or highest tuition. By default, it is the lowest, and that's pretty standard. So the same thing applies to multi-student discount. Again, we offer 1st to 6th, and it's exactly the same thing. You can apply percentage or dollar. When it is a percentage, make sure that you have this setting of yes or no applied appropriately. So in the case of this, the first student receives no discount, but if there is a sibling that is also taking classes, that sibling receives a 10% discount on their class, and then third student receives 15% discount on all their classes, and so on. There's a question here, apply the first student discount to families with only one student. That defaults to no. So if you do offer multiple sibling and you offer a 10% discount on the first student, if another family only has one kid, are you going to give them the same discount? It's kind of tricky that way. I'm going to leave that up to you as to how you handle that, but it is flexible that way. Also discounting lowest to highest. And the final question on this page is, if a family is eligible for both multi-class and multi-student discounts, and each of you have indicated you offer both, then should they get both? And that answer would be yes. So you do this once, walk through this once, get it all set up, save your changes, and you're ready to go. The next time you go, you're ready to post fees for the month. You simply come up to Transactions, Post Tuition Fees, and you will find in the discount section, these are already filled out for you here now. So you don't have to worry about that again. So let's break this page down because it can look a little intimidating, but it's really simple. We're going to go on the assumption that on each month you want to post fees for all students in all active classes. So you can leave all of this top section blank. This is the search criteria. Who do you want to bill? Now, the more information you put into here, the narrower the focus is. So if I only wanted to post tuition fees for, let's say, a few select classes, you can select those classes, and only fees you're going to post below will apply to those particular classes. You can also do it based on a category 1, a membership type, by session, e-payment schedule, all of that. So you can really fine-tune how you want to post your fees and to whom. But for the simple fact, for this webinar, let's do it wide open so that you don't, you're catching all enrolled students into all eligible classes, all active classes. So to do that, I'm going to just exit right out of this this area. Okay, so we've got our search criteria done. The settings below, let me just refresh that so I've got this nice and clean. Whoops. All right. So post tuition fees. All right, so the second section is what fees do you want to post? So the posting tuition date, whatever date you're posting your fees on is automatically filled in here. Now, you typically post fees at the end of the month or beginning of the next. So you can post date this. We can say August 1st, we're going to post these fees. Now, even though the date says August 1st, it will be posted immediately onto the family account, but it will show the date of 8/1. You ask the question, do you want to post fees to any future drops? If you have a student dropping in the middle of August, do you want to post fees for that student? Yes or no? By default, we are charging the fees. The transaction type is tuition fee. That's what we're posting here, so that's a hard-coded fact. Transaction subtype is an area that we recommend you use to put in the month. This allows your families to look at their statements, log into the parent portal to look at their account, and they'll see that it's tuition fee for August. It's easy for you also to be taking a look at the account and see that their fee for August has been posted. So it's a good idea to put the transaction subtype in. Now, let's just let's make this sort of simple. Let's go on to the basics here. This is your minimum requirement, the date. Add in the subtype. You've got all your multi-class and multi-sibling discounts already pre-filled for you. You have the ability to add a miscellaneous discount for whatever reason. Let's say it's December and your studio is closed half of the month. You can offer in a discount for that. But generally on your monthly routine, you would not be doing that. The final section on this page is your duplicate fee detection, or who has already had fees posted. This is a good practice. Turn this on, and what we recommend you do is just check dates from the last time you posted fees. So let's say it was July 1st and through to today's date. All right. Now we're looking for a transaction type of tuition fee and also matching on the same, let's say, transaction subtype. That was a little low there. Transaction subtype. So I'm looking for tuition for August, if anybody has posted this before. So let's go ahead and preview our tuition fees. The preview is great because it allows you to take a look at everything without committing. So now I can take a look and see what families will have what fees posted. Now in the note section, you're going to notice you've got multi-class discounting. I can come down here and you'll see multi-class and multi-student because they've applied apply both. And let's see what other things we have here. We've got military discounts. These are a fixed family discount, which I'll show you where to set that up in a moment. So you can take a scan through there and make sure it all looks right. I did turn on duplicate tuition fee detection, which those would show up in yellow. You see here in the legend. In this case, I have none that I need to worry about. So I'm really nice and clean here, nice and safe to go ahead. So it gives you a summary of how many, what the total tuition fee, any possible duplicates, in my case there were 0, how many transactions, families and students and classes. So I've got 128 transactions ready to post. Depending on how many families you have, you could have a whole lot more than that. So if I'm happy with this, all I got to do is click this button once and boom, all of my tuition fees are now posted. So it makes posting fees very, very simple. You set up your discounting once, preview each month to make sure that it all looks right, click post, and you're done. So let's go back and go to a family here. Let's go into the Bunny family for an example. We're going to look on their transaction tab, and now you'll see here on this top line, August 1st. Remember, I post-dated it to August 1st, but it shows on the account right away. It is tuition fee. The subtype is August, the amount, any discount that was applied, and the total. And now it also shows you any discounting and what the reasoning for that was. Remember also, an unpaid fee shows red. So that's how that looks, nice and clean. So let's talk about fixed fees and fixed discounts. On the billing information tab for a family, near the bottom, you have discounts and fixed fees. So a family discount, in this case, I have a military discount. I am offering a 25% monthly discount for this family because I offer a military discount. You can put in an expiration date for this as well. If you may have it just on a special promo, give them a discount for the first 3 months, you can automatically add a expiration date, set it and forget it. When that expires, they no longer get the discount. So it's a really handy thing for promos as well. You can also set up a fixed fee. Let's say you have a parent who also works in your studio part-time. You may want to offer them a 50% discount. This information is shown here in the pop-up help if you want more information. But you can just put in, let's say, 50 and fixed fee category. You want to put in whatever category 1 best serves them. So let's say we want to put this in as gymnastics. And you can also put in a fixed fee expiration date and put in a note. Staff rate, something like that. The thing about this is that every time you post a fee to this family, they will be charged no more than the amount that you have put in this, regardless of how many classes the student is taking or students are taking. So you want to be careful of that. You don't want to shortchange yourself, but you can set these up easily on the billing information tab of the family. Also, while we're looking at this, note that you can add credit cards here. Each family can have up to 3 credit cards added, and we're going to talk about setting up credit cards in just a moment when we go into applying payments. You can also put in bank account information here. Okay. All right. Now, let me just go back here for a moment. And what I want to do now is walk you through processing individual payments. So we've looked at posting fees individually on enrollment, posting fees individually by the Make Sale Post Fee button, and now we've looked at posting fees globally using the Post Tuition Fee function. So let's take a look at an individual family once again, and let's bring up the Adams family. We want to clear out their account. They had some trouble earlier, didn't they? They had a lot of unpaid fees. So they're ready to come back in and they want to clear off the balance here of $555.63. And Mr. Adams has come in and he wants to write a check for this. So he's there. You just go ahead and click the payment button located right here. And this will bring up all of the fees that he owes. So in this case, Mr. Adams wants to pay everything off. So he's going to cut you a check for $555.63, which is great. So that makes it really simple. You change this to check. You can put in any information. Mr. Adams paid account in full. Something to that effect. Put in the check number. Let's say that's 123456. And now what you can do, you can individually go in and apply to each of these fees. And notice by clicking in, the system automatically takes the full amount of this payment and applies it to the full amount of the fee. And in this doing so, I am actually applying that payment to each of these fees. Because Mr. Adams was paying all of this off, I could have just gone to apply to oldest fees first and it would have automatically done that for me. But I wanted to show you exactly how you can link a fee to a payment. Now I have a payment amount and a balance that match. I go ahead and click Save Payment, and boom, now my current balance is down to 0. So that's a nice clean account, all set up, ready to go. Okay, it shows you the payment is right here. Notice the date. See, our tuition fee is dated 8/1/2017, but this payment came in at 7/21 because it came in today because I post-dated that, but he's also paid that fee in advance. So right now there are no unpaid fees or unapplied credits on this account. This is a nice clean account with a 0 balance. That's your goal. Everybody wants to have a nice clean account like that. All right, now what if they wanted to pay by credit card? Okay, let's talk first about e-payments. Now, depending on where you're at, you may have already set up a gateway account with SafeSafe Payments or CNH Financial, but in order to process credit cards through Jackrabbit, you do need to contact and arrange an account with one of our payment partners. To find more information on that, just go ahead and click your Help button and go right into the Help Center. You'll see here on the Help Center, e-payments in Jackrabbit. So you have a link here for how they work, setting them up, using it, and you can view all articles in this section. Let's just go ahead and click Set Up e-payments. And right here, it will show you, you've got to contact a payment partner. That's your first step. So if you've already done that and your account is set up, you can go ahead and add and process credit cards. If not, you want to get in on this right away because it makes your life so easy. We work with SafeSafe Payments and CNH Financial, both of whom have written code to work directly with your Jackrabbit account, and it makes it seamless. You can process payments, process refunds, all directly through the account. It makes it really simple. So if you have not already done so, get that underway. It's going to make your life a lot easier. Okay, so let's now assume that you have done that. Let's show you how to process an individual credit card payment. I'm going to go under, let's see, list my active families, and let's go to the Anderson family. They have a balance of $195 that they now want to pay. But first, look, notice the green. See, they have an unapplied credit and the balance. So let's go ahead and we can narrow this down again just by viewing unapplied credits. And here we have $50. So what is this? It's an account credit. We're not sure what it's all about. So let's clean it up first before we apply a payment. Let's apply this credit. And because there's no notation on it, let's just apply it to the oldest fee and save that. So now we have a clean account that just has these 3 fees that need to be paid. So the account is still showing 195 because even though that unapplied credit was there, it was factored into the balance. But now we see that we have these three bills or three fees in red that need to be paid. So I'm going to do a payment on here again. Okay, so I'm going to pay all three of them off so I can just apply automatically and see how it fills in each one of these automatic, and there we go. So now I want to use this button here, use credit card or account on file. If they wanted to do a one-off payment using a different card, let's say it's grandma's card that you don't have stored in your system, you can use the new card and enter it in manually if you wish. I'm going to use the card they have on file though. Let's go ahead and click this button. And here we have the post e-payment confirmation. So it will show you the name, the method is by credit card, the amount, the name on the card, expiration date, and so on. So I just have to go ahead and click Submit e-payment. System is processing it, and boom, there we go. Our payment processor was SafeSave Payments. It's been approved. I have a transaction ID, so I go ahead and click OK. And we just gone. So now we're down to a zero balance, nice and clean. And you notice here the payment was Visa, and there's a little check mark. I can go ahead and click this check mark, and it will now show me the approved and all the details associated with that. So you have confirmation that this is nice and done. So you're all safe. You can click the R if you need to refund onto a credit card. Now the way this works is you process all your credit cards during a day, and your payment processor has a cutoff time each business day. And that's typically set to around midnight. So until that midnight time happens, it looks as though the payments have been processed. That's great. But you have an opportunity to go, oops, I should not have actually charged this family. I told them I wouldn't charge them until next week. You can go ahead and click the R. The system will do an inquiry onto the status. And it says here, this payment hasn't settled yet because I just did it. So you can go ahead and void the charge. You can also and mark it down to zero. This would send an email notification to the family that you voided a charge on their card. You can also void and delete the payment altogether as though it's never happened. And you can choose not to send the void receipt. So if you've done this in error and you just want to clean it up and not, no big deal, you can do that right away and do that just by clicking void and delete payment. And if we take a look here, the balance is back to $195, the fee remains unpaid, and it's as though nothing happened. So you do have a backup if you've accidentally charged a credit card in error. So again, a really great reason to get set up with SafeSave or CNH Financial. Voiding is great. Now, if it's gone past the day, and it has been settled, when you click the R, it will do an inquiry onto that transaction and see that it's already been settled, so it would then be processed as a refund. And because the chart's already gone through, then it's refunded, and both of those are then tracked. Okay, excellent. Now, we've done that on an individual family. Let's do it globally. So we've gone ahead and we've posted fees, all the tuition fees for everyone. Now let's collect all the money based on who's paying by credit card. So to do this, we're going to go into Transactions and Process Credit Card / Bank Accounts. Now you have the option of accepting credit cards and bank drafts. If you are accepting bank drafts, it is a separate application with your payment processor, so make sure you mention that to your rep at the payment processing company. And of course, if you're doing that, you need to do this once for credit cards and once for bank accounts. We're just going to look at credit cards today, though. So we're processing these. If you are charging the full account balances, all you have to do is stop right here. You are looking at the e-payment method of credit card. So anyone who has chosen to pay by credit card will be collected here. So let's go ahead and just simply click Preview Payments. This will pull all of the families that have a balance that have agreed to pay by credit card. So you'll see here I have 9 families and a total of just shy of $2,500 outstanding. So you can do a quick glance here to make sure that this is all good. If you wanted to see their account, if you're wondering what is this amount for, you can go ahead and click preview and it'll show you what the fees are. Once you're happy with all of this, all you need to do is click process payments. And when you do this, it's going to send out each one of these family accounts and charge their cards. So while you're doing that, just let Jackrabbit do its work. You may have hundreds for this to do, and each one takes just a second or so. So let's go ahead and watch what that looks like. So we're going to have a confirmation, and now it's going to go out and you'll see each one rolling along. So this is the point where you just want to let it do its job, grab a coffee, let it go. It's fairly quick, but you don't want to interrupt the transaction. And you can see each one is coming through. I'm getting success codes. Life is good. Excellent. So there you go. You've just charged all 9 families in just a matter of seconds, and the money is in your account in just a short time after that. So let's go ahead and click close. Now, while we're talking about credit cards, there are receipts that go out when you have processed a payment. You can go under Tools and click Credit Card Bank Account Settings. In here, you can go into Receipts, and you can customize like approved email receipt, so your receipt from your studio, and you can put in a link to your parent portal here, so families can automatically link in from that receipt and go into their account and view any charges or payments that have been processed. If they have received a decline, if the credit card was declined, they will also send a note, and you can put in here your account requires attention, and then let them log in and update their credit card number. Maybe it's an expired card, something like that. Likewise, you can customize receipts for voided and refunded emails. So this is, take a moment to go through those and make sure those are set up to your liking. You can also click on the help here, and this will give you individual links to the various information on how to process cards, and you also have a list here of decline codes. So there's various reasons why a card might be declined, so you can get some information here. Of course, if you have any questions, you can reach out to our support department, and you can also access your virtual terminal with your payment processor. And that's easily found under the setting link here. Here is your virtual terminal. Click on that, and it will log you into your account here. Of course, you need your own username and password for SafeSave in this case. So that's how you can take a look at what's going on inside your account. And it's a good idea to verify charges are going through. Bank drafts in particular, if you processed a bank draft, it can take 7 to 10 days for that to be settled by the time it goes out to the host bank and then comes back. So it's a good rule of thumb to look in there once a month as part of your bank reconciliation. Okay, so that's processing en masse. Now the final thing to take a look at, we're running out of time here, so I want to show you just a little bit about reports. So we have a various number of reports that you can use. Under the report section here, you can go under Find Reports, and if you want to look at transactions, financial reports, it'll give you a listing here of what are recommended. Here are the reports for showing who has paid, who owes you money, and so on. So I want to take a look at the deposit slip. This is a great one to look at. Now I'm only going to look at today's transactions so we have a nice clean view of what we've done here today on this webinar. So I'm going to look at just all transactions from today, and that's all the payments. So we do this, let that just generate. There we go. All right, so you can see here that we've had a check come in the amount of $555.63 that we processed. We've had a payment by MasterCard, $747, and then all the payments from Visa. And you can see all those linked up. We've had no refunds today, 0 refunds. So our net total is $3,062.86 have been generated today. And you can see who's paid those fees. So that's a really handy thing. That's how much cash came in today via cash, check, or credit cards. Let's go back here. And let's look at the revenue summary report. Now I can also just go here and go revenue summary. I also want to take a look just at today's date. Of course, you can look at this in various different ways, but just for simplicity, let's look at just today's transactions. And in this case, you're going to see this broken down by your categories 1, 2, and 3, a list of the classes that have had fees paid for, the number of enrollment in that class, and any discounting that was applied. So you can keep track of how much discounts you're giving and what your total revenue is. And that's summarized right at the very bottom here. So you've had $682.77 discounted off of the posted fee, the full fee on your class. The amount brought in, the $3,062.86, is the net difference from that. This just shows you what the discount you have given out, and this is the total amount of revenue brought in. And of course, this matches with the deposit slip exactly. And finally, one more is the revenue snapshot. So let's go back to the reports here. And we're going to go into revenue snapshot. There we go. Once again, only looking at today's date, so we're looking at the same information multiple ways. Okay, this one is kind of a combination of the two. So you've got your revenue summary and your deposit slip all kind of combined together. So at the very top, you have your payment method. So it breaks it down by check, MasterCard, and Visa in this case, and there's our same total, $3,062.86. And then below that, we have your category, the type of fee, the payment method, and the amounts. And so there you see all the breakdown of the amounts coming in. And at the very bottom, your report total, of course, matches the same amount, $3,062.86. So 3 different reports giving you the same information, just presented in slightly different ways, but it's a great way to keep track of what's coming in. So those are some of the key ones that we do recommend. All right, so we have about just a few minutes left. I did want to open this up to question and answer. So a couple of last things. Once the webinar is complete, there is a survey after that, so I would appreciate it if you can give us some feedback. We're always trying to improve these webinars. This is a lot of information to absorb in one sitting. So it is being recorded, and approximately 1 hour after the conclusion of the webinar, you will receive a follow-up email with a link to this recording so you can listen to it again. Our help button will get you to our support team. And also in that email, if you just started working with Jackrabbit in the last 60 days or so, you are eligible for a product coach or jumpstart coach. So there'll be a link in the follow-up email where you can set up an appointment with them, and they'll work with you one-on-one through telephone and screen share to work on getting your fees set up, any discounting, make sure that you're on the right track to getting your fees posted and so on. And of course, you can contact support via the submitted ticket, quick chat, or request a call at any time that the support is open. Our support is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. Chat and request a call have slightly different hours, but you can always send in a ticket. Even if we're not live, tickets are always being monitored. If you have an urgent issue, someone is bound to get back to you. Excellent. So at this time, I'd like to open the floor to any questions. You're welcome to type in a question into the chat field, or if you wish, you can raise your hand and I'll unmute you, and you can ask a question. I can only answer general questions. I can't answer specific questions to your own database, as each one will be unique and I'd need to log into that. But if you have any questions about the content of today's webinar, please let me know. Otherwise, you will receive a follow-up email with this recording, as I just mentioned, so keep a watch for that. And I hope that you got some good information from this webinar today. It looks pretty quiet out there. All right. So it does appear that there are no questions at this time, so I'm going to respect your time and let you get on with your busy days. It's been my pleasure to host Structuring Billing with Jackrabbit today. My name is Graham Bingham. Have a great weekend, and thank you for joining us today. I'll be ending the webinar now.